Hey guys, welcome back to Snowball Investing. This is going to be the May 24 portfolio update. I will be transparently walking you through all my different portfolios from Freetrade to Vanguard, showing you how they've been performing, and earnings season's come to a close as well, so I'll touch on some of the earnings. But without further ado, let's jump straight into the Stocks and Shares ISA. So my Stocks and Shares ISA is with Freetrade, and I've continued to invest with Freetrade in the new financial year. The value of the Stocks and Shares ISA sits at £89,080, and it's overall up in unrealised gains by 27,414. Looking at the past month's performance, it's kind of traded sideways, so it was around 91,800 on the 30th of April, and is slightly traded down to the current value of 89,000. What I like to do is benchmark my portfolio against the FTSE All ETF just to see how it's performing, and on a time-weighted rate of return since the inception of the ISA, my ISA is up by 44.74%, where the FTSE All ETF is up by 15.03%, so a fairly nice consistent beat. My portfolio is obviously more volatile, as you can see by the chart, but I'm fairly happy with the performance so far. Taking a quick look at the dividends I received for May, so SR Green Realty, that's my monthly dividend, that came in at £13.04. Apple, 68 pence, but it is a small position, and UK Property, £9.82, but I recently sold out of this, but that's the last dividend I'm going to get for that particular stock. Looking at the individual positions in my portfolio, let's start with Palantir. So currently sitting at 2,474 shares. The overall position is 42,249 and is up by 97%. So Palantir is still a position I'm dollar cost averaging in, although I got most of my shares at a fairly good price. I think my average price is nearing $11. But now it's had a recent pullback. So if you look at the price chart for this, it was trading up in the $26 range, but has been trending somewhat downwards, and now it kind of hovers around the $20 to $21 range. I've been slowly buying a few more shares. Again, I'm overall still very bullish on this company. There is ongoing news around new contracts that they're winning, and my long-term thesis on Palantir is still intact. An example of this contract is a new one Palantir won just the other day. It was worth $480 million with the army, and this was over 5 years. And this is the beauty of Palantir, because you've got the government side, which may not be consistent, but some of the deals are quite large in value, and you've got the commercial side, which is growing very fast, and that's a consistent earner for Palantir on a monthly basis. VWRPs, that's up 21.32%. Another position that's growing quite large in my portfolio, and it seems to be increasing every time I do an update, is Rocket Lab USA. The more due diligence I do in this company, the more bullish I get. So that's now up at £4,036 and is up 5.99%. The price on this is going to be very, very volatile, so I'm really looking to buy in the $3 range rather than the $4 range. We have Alphabet up 33%. SR Green Realty, that's the one that gives me the monthly dividends, that's up 79%. Truist up 21%, another dividend play my company, and that value is at £3,086. A slightly disappointing stock in this portfolio is SoFi, so that sits at £2,904 and is down 5.67%. There's not been too much news. I'm not really planning to buy more or sell it. I'm just waiting to see what the next earning call has in store for us and just reevaluating my thesis on this company. PayPal is down 10.46%, and it's a stock which I think is undervalued, but the share price isn't really going anywhere. There has been recent news that PayPal is planning to build a ad sales business, and given the amount of data it has on all of its customers, this could be something exciting, so it's just something I'm keeping an eye on. Meta and Microsoft performing quite well. Hershey's a stock I bought for the dividends, that's down -2%. Snowflake not performing as well, so it's probably down another 10% from my last update. If prices do get juicy, I'm willing to buy a few more shares of this. A new position in my portfolio is Carnival, ticker symbol CCL. So I actually sold out of my UK property ETF and reallocated that capital and a bit more to this position. And the reason for that is I think this is going to give me share appreciation and the dividend, so probably a better play for the long term. Enphase performing quite well, so that's up 17%, Disney up 16%. Looking at some of the smaller positions, Tesla's still down a fair bit. DraftKings took a pretty big hit, as that's, even though it's up 114%, it was up a lot more. And the reason for that is Illinois has stated that it will more than double taxes on sport betting operators. So that's obviously bad news for companies such as DraftKings. Some of these other positions are performing quite well, apart from Ginkgo Bioworks. Seems to be a falling knife at the minute, and I'm very tempted to pull out this capital and just apply it elsewhere, but I have a feeling as soon as I sell it, it will rebound. So it's one of those ones where I should probably sell it, but I'm just somewhat reluctant. That concludes the stock and shares ISA, so let's move over to the general investment account. So the value of the GIA is £18,288 and is up by £6,088 since last month. It is slightly up by a couple of £100, but I am no longer investing any more money into this GIA. Looking at the performance against the FTSE All ETF, it's performing very well indeed. So it's up 57% since inception, where All ETF is up by 15%, and that's probably mostly due to the Meta position I've got in this portfolio. Looking at the positions in this portfolio quite quickly, Meta is still a beast, outperforming at plus 193%. Alphabet pretty respectable, up around 50%. Enphase Energy up 2.26%. Other big tech stocks like Amazon, Microsoft, again bought a lot of these when they were at kind of fairly low valuations, so doing quite well for me in the portfolio. Intel is a tech stock that's not doing as well, so that's down 14%. JP Morgan up 62%. Starbucks, that took a massive hit after earnings, so now I went from positive to down to minus 2.59%. Last but not least, we have NEO, which is down 66%. I was down a lot more on this, but it's made a tiny bit of a recovery, but I have a feeling I'm going to be bag holding for the foreseeable future. So that concludes the GIA, so let's move over to the Vanguard account. Taking a look at the Vanguard General Investment account, the value of this sits at £15,715, and as you can see, it's made up of just the S&P 500. That's up by £2,904 in profit. At the minute, I'm adding £200 every single month into this, although I will be stopping that because I need that money for other things. So I'll continue to give updates on this on a monthly position as it forms part of my portfolio, but it's probably not going to grow in size, and it's just going to continue to compound with the value it has at the minute. So that concludes the May 2024 portfolio update. There may be changes in the next month's update. I am looking to now include my spouse's ISA as part of these updates. The thinking is we are working together to kind of retire early, so it'd be good to give you guys a holistic approach of the overall financial picture. I may even include other things like premium bonds, so if that's updates you guys are interested in, please let me know. Until then, I will catch you in the next month's update.